everybody. Welcome back to another edition of 15 Good Minutes. Coach B here. JR, how are you today, man?
I'm doing good. Watched a little football yesterday. Weather's starting to get a little cold. A little chilly, I should say. But I'm doing good, man.
September, brother. Freddie, how are you, man?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing good, man. To JR's point, the NFL got underway this weekend, and it was my 100% intent to kind of talk about that opening week. But I can't. This is going to be an episode of I Got Something to Say for the three of us. I'm bothered by the Tyreek Hill situation, and it will take me more than a minute. I haven't talked to either one of you guys about it. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, and maybe get your insight. So, assuming that most of the audience understands what I'm talking about, Tyreek Hill pulled over for speeding, reckless driving on the way to his game at Miami's, home game in Miami on Sunday. And what happened after that to me was just, it's total bullshit. And I don't know, I know this is rhetorical, but when does this shit stop? The way that they spin it, not everybody, but I'm going to specifically talk about the commissioner of the union telling me that in his statement that, Tyreek was aggressive, that he was resisting. It's nonsense. I have probably seen, Jared, 8, maybe 9 different versions of the footage. Today, I actually saw the one from the motorcycle cop who actually pulled him over. So if you can imagine, he's facing this way, the car came this way speeding, and you get to see his chest cam, and he turns around and pulls him over. I think it's excessive force. I think it's a case of people hiding behind the badge. And I've heard enough of this. Oh, they don't represent all policemen. And I get that. I know good police, but I'm tired of that shit too, right? To me, what I saw was no different than those clowns in Minnesota with George Floyd. Mm-hmm. Only difference was Tyreek didn't die. His teammates pull over to help him. They too get accosted. And so I want to try to get a better understanding of what kind of power trip, what makes these guys go on this kind of power trip that makes them believe they're better than us. And before I turn it over, I'll start with you, Jal. Before I turn it over to you, I want to say this. I don't know Tyreek Hill, but then it's sort of kind of do, because I'm Tyreek Hill, Freddie's Tyreek Hill, and JR, you're Tyreek Hill, and all of you know a Tyreek Hill. So it don't matter how affluent you are, how rich you are, how poor you are, how regular you are. It just looks like when these policemen, those select few that really think they're the shit, and that we're supposed to be intimidated by them, when they get a hold of something, we're supposed to bow to them. And I got a problem with that. So what do you think, man?
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I feel what you're saying, and I agree with you a lot. I think one of the unadmitted problems is that the no accountability. That's why they want that what's that immunity, for everything they do, and you just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to weed out the good cops from the bad cops, somebody had an idea. Attach their job to insurance companies. You understand? Because if the same,
I don't know what that means.
Well, if the same cop if you have to pay your own insurance for the dumb shit that you do, eventually they're going to figure out the problem is you. The problem isn't the citizen. Okay? Now, I've listened to Tyreek Hill speak. He does not, I don't think he was candy coating it. He doesn't speak like he's that type of, I'm going to get in your face and whatever. Think about it. The guy's got a multi-million-dollar contract. Why is he getting smart with you?
I don't think he could have been any more cooperative in the things that he said.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's that you get these bad cops, Russ, and a lot of times they move from Virginia when they get in trouble to Maryland or to another county in Virginia. And there's just no trail to follow the bad officers. And I think that ego, I think some of it comes from getting your ass kicked when you was a kid or getting picked on or something.
By no stretch of the imagination, those officers they should be fired. They definitely should be fired. So, and I'm gonna go as fast as I can with this. So when you stop Tyreek, I saw something today. They said they visibly saw him driving 60 miles an hour. I don't know how you can assume someone's driving 60 miles an hour by eye, but
Right.
if he had a gun, whatever, but by eye, whatever. All right, cool. Let's say he was driving 60 miles an hour in that venue going towards the stadium, right? So when you pull up to the car, roll the window down. Why aren't you wearing your seatbelt? Well, first of all, hey, good morning, sir. How you doing, officer? Right. That's number one. With both of them,
that would de-escalate a whole bunch of it.
That first window comes down. Why aren't you wearing your seatbelt? Right. Tariq, he said, if you listen to it, he said, "Man, give me my citation. Let me go on about my business." Window goes up. Dude knocks on the window. "Man, why you banging on my shit?" Or whatever. Right. Keep your window down so I can talk. You see what I'm saying? So neither one of them made the situation better, right? And when you're an African American male, this is when you get pulled over. There's about 4 things that's gonna happen, and you're either gonna get a ticket, you're gonna get a warning, you're gonna go to jail, or you're gonna go to the hospital. That as an African American man, it doesn't matter.
Or the morgue.
Well, henceforth go to the hospital, right? But as an African American male, you have to be cognitive of who you are. Just because, we think however many degrees you may have, how much money you may have, guess what? Some of them look at you as something else, right? So Tyreek Hill, should they have known you? Whatever, who knows? They don't care. All they see is someone driving down the strip in Miami in South Beach in a McLaren or whatever it was, right? And so then you get that situation. And so the other guy comes up with the sleeve. Oh, he really was on 12, right? He snatched him out. That's where it was totally left. And then once they start putting him, in the cuffs and the way they handled him, he was in cuffs already. He wasn't appearing to resist. He wasn't trying to flee or anything like that. So the biggest thing for me one of the things that I took away from it, and Tyreek had some culpability in it as well, right? Because guess what? If you're speeding, what does that mean? That means typically you're late for something, right? Unless you just got a heavy foot. You know what time you're supposed to be there for a home game, right? Again, overslept, whatever case, you had to get the babies right, whatever, cool, whatever.
No. It's just to be clear, it was speeding. The time he was pulled over was 10:17. He doesn't have to be at the stadium until 11. He was not late, as indicated by the car that came after him with his teammates in it.
So why was he speeding?
Because he can't. I get that. I'm not debating the speeding, but I agree. Write the ticket for speeding. But a knee in the back don't come from speed.
But see, what you can't do, if you're in the wrong, they're not going to let you tell them.
I'm not debating me being in the wrong, Freddie. What I'm saying is speeding doesn't warrant what I saw.
It doesn't, right? But when you're in the wrong, you can't.
I just want to make sure we clear. He wasn't late. He wasn't he was on time like regular. But he was speeding.
I don't know what time he had to get there, right? But whatever the case may be, right? So, once you speed past all of that, put him on the ground, it's totally excessive and overly aggressive. And I think it was a combination of Tyreek trying to prove I'm Tyreek, right? And then the other dudes trying to prove that I'm the cop. Because you're saying you're gonna do what we say when we say yada yada. So it really was a pissing match, right? But the biggest issue that I saw was there was a lack of professionalism from the police officers, and there was a lack of a sense of de-escalation.
There's no reason why days later those guys are still on the streets, still pulling cats over, and still carrying a badge and a weapon. That's all I'm saying. And if we start making examples of them, like we did in Minnesota, maybe eventually that'll be a start. Maybe to make them think twice about, oh, wait a minute, it's my camera that's filming my guy roughing somebody up. Maybe they'll be a little bit brighter. But you know what? If they're not, get their ass out of it. That, and I don't know if that's the fix. I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. It was It was a bad situation. You're speeding, you get a ticket, you move on. That's my thing. I know we can't solve it here, and I know we went a little bit long, but it's been bothering me since Sunday, man. You know,
that could have went left. That could have went left like real bad.
Very quickly. I think the only reason it didn't, you know what I mean, was because more and more people started coming around. And I don't think it had anything to do with how famous, you know, the athlete is. That wasn't it at all. I don't think so. You know what your police training tells you to do. You know how to subdue somebody.
Yep.
Dude is subdued. Everything after the cuffs is wrong.
They'll probably say, "Oh, because he was kind of big." You know, it's always some dumb excuse. He was big, but you got a gun, you got a taser, and you got your boys. Come on, man, make it make
They got
sense.
a lot of their boys. So I know, you know, may get some negative feedback. It's all good. I had something to say. It's our show. I can do that. And that's what we're going to do. Hopefully, we'll get into some NFL action or something a little bit more pleasant next week. But that's why I got my guys here. I had to get that off my chest. Before we go, let me go to you, Mace. You got something to say this week before we go out, man?
You handle it. You handle it.
Freddie, how about you, man? What's happening? You got something to say today?
That, you know, with the situation with Tyreek Hill, and I mean, when I saw it, I was like, okay, right? Like I'm numb to it, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not really addressing the issue at all, right? You know, and so whether you got money, whether you
don't matter. Yeah. All right, enough of that shit. You guys go. Glad you guys were able to listen, watch some sports this weekend. Baseball race is pretty hot right now. NFL is underway. Freddie's team beat me in my first fantasy football game, but I ain't holding that against him. No big deal, no harm, no foul. I got more games to go this year. You guys take care.
Rest in peace, James Earl Jones.
Yes, sir.